Hey, welcome to Sexy Biz Babe podcast. I'm very excited. I have Leah on, and we're going to be talking about Envision Yoga, which she's going to explain what it's all about, but we've been friends for a few years, and this has really helped me. This Envision Yoga, it combines modalities of EMDR, and it's really helped me grow and trust myself, and we're going to get into it, and she's going to explain what it is, how it's helpful, and also give some free tips of how to get some of this growth right now. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Leah, as you said, and I am the founder of Envision Yoga, which is a powerful new healing modality that combines yoga, bilateral stimulation, which is the underlying mechanism of EMDR therapy, as well as positive affirmation and visualization.
Love that. What were you struggling with before you created Envision Yoga? And what was that aha moment to get it going?
What wasn't I struggling with?
Okay, yeah.
I started EMDR therapy back in 2021, and that was for PTSD. So I would have essentially nightmares and flashbacks and felt just held back in every possible way in my life. Other things, just low self-worth. I didn't like myself. I was doing too many drinking, doing too many drugs. The list goes on. Just also I would be frozen. It made it hard to accomplish anything because I would just get overwhelmed and just kind of freeze. So it reached the point during the pandemic that I finally was willing to ask for help. Mm-hmm. And so I asked a friend who had been in therapy for ages, okay, I'm ready for help. Who can you direct me to? And thank goodness she sent me to her EMDR therapist. And I had no idea what it was at that point. And my mother told me that it sounded fake. Yeah. Because it does sound fake.
And a lot of people don't believe in therapy.
Right. And the original premise for EMDR, when the woman first founded it in the early 80s, was follow my finger and it will cure your PTSD.
Yeah, that does sound kind of crazy.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so she had to do rigorous studies for 35 years to show that it's now the gold standard for curing PTSD because it's wildly effective. And now through Envision Yoga, there's no science yet to support it, but it works the same for me in my brain. The same sort of thing happens, and I'm seeing similar results in my friends and students.
Okay, so what is EMDR?
Yeah.
And what is Envision Yoga? How does it work? What do you do?
Yeah.
I know, but...
Yeah. Thanks for asking. So as I was saying with EMDR, this woman, Francine Shapiro, in the late 80s, she was walking in the park and she felt upset about something. And then she felt her eyes jiggle back and forth. And then she felt less upset.
Ooh.
Yeah. And she was in her PhD program at the time. And so she just started going up to people, her colleagues, and going, okay, think about something that upsets you and follow my finger.
Okay.
And then she'd go, are you less upset? And they go, yeah, 30 seconds or a minute later. And so then from there, she set up she realized it was helping people with these negative memories and it was helping them reprocess it. So in order to prove it scientifically, because as we said, it sounds insane. It sounds like fairy dust. It's like, just clap your hands and believe you're well and it will happen. Yeah. So it couldn't sound more made up. And so she thought, who has the most painful memories that are giving them the most problems? So she started doing research studies with rape victims and war veterans.
Yeah.
And she has some absurd results, which I've experienced kind of the gamut of that in early Envision Yoga. Okay. Some people will say things that sound made up, like, you cured my panic attacks, or you cured my stomach pain. This is the kind of far end of the spectrum.
Wow.
And then sort of more in the middle, you have people like you're saying that it is changing your life and it's making your brain just a positive, happy neighborhood to be in.
Yeah.
So she started developing it, and it's now grown to it's helped millions of people. There's thousands of therapists, thousands and thousands of EMDR therapists, and it's saved my life. It made my life worth living again. And then it laid the groundwork for Envision Yoga, which has now become my life's work. And
awesome. So happy. What does EMDR stand for?
Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy.
Okay. So what is it doing in your brain?
What it's doing in your brain is it's mimicking REM sleep. So the science is still, the science isn't totally in on exactly what's making EMDR work, But it's sort of a cousin to hypnosis. I've been studying some hypnosis, and Francine Shapiro recommends all EMDR therapists should study some hypnosis.
Okay. In
case somebody has an abreaction, you can help them get back to a good place, because sometimes people might get triggered during class. Sorry, the question was, what is EMDR?
So it's similar to hypnosis.
Yeah, similar to hypnosis. Okay, how does it work? So it's replicating REM sleep, but that actually doesn't have anything to do with the eye movements, apparently. Well, it does, but it's calming down the amygdala. And so it's essentially allowing your brain to look at these things without getting the shock value of all of the fear.
Okay.
And it's working like dreams. And Envision Yoga and EMDR will cause dreams. People will have these dreams, which is obviously your brain trying to integrate the mantra. If we do a positive mantra, or if you're doing EMDR, it's helping you reprocess your trauma to come to a place of resolution with it.
Okay. And then what is the difference with Envision Yoga? Like, what do you do?
Envision Yoga, it's become, much, much different. The jumping off point was the bilateral stimulation in my experience with EMDR and how it totally transformed my life.
Yeah.
EMDR, the way that works, EMDR was developed when exposure therapy was the only modality that they knew of how you could cure your trauma.
Yeah, let's just go. You experienced just bombs.
Just
go
keep looking at
just
it.
Keep going. That sounds terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
And so sort of what Francine Shapiro ended up doing was she sort of integrated bilateral stimulation into sort of an exposure framework.
Okay.
So she started off with going, think of the worst thing that's happened to you. Think of the thing that's causing you all of the trouble. What's the memory? So you'd be like, that time that guy attacked me, or whatever it is for you. And then you think of that, and they're like, okay, well, what did that make you think of yourself? And you're like, it made me feel scared and like I'm not safe. So then they pair that. Okay, think of the worst thing that happened to you. Now think the cognition, I'm not safe, and feel it in your body. And then from there, they start the bilateral stimulation. And then they'll kind of check in with you every so often to see how you're doing and processing it. And then eventually, after years of doing that, they did add a component at the end where then at the very end, for the last 5 minutes, they go, okay, now think of that original memory and now say, I am safe to yourself in your mind.
Okay.
And then it kind of helps rewrite that into a positive thing.
Yeah.
So that's what EMDR does. It's coming at it through a trauma lens. It's about, let's get over your past. Let's deal with this trauma. And it can cause horrifying nightmares. I had horrible nightmares when it first started. It did work, but because they have you sit there and just tell yourself you're not safe for an hour, it can get really upsetting. So Envision Yoga, and actually when I read the EMDR training manual, they actually said, if someone has a positive thought too soon, direct them back to the upsetting thought and keep them on that. I'm not exactly sure what they were seeing that they thought this, but she thought that if you thought the positive thing too soon, then it would stop the processing.
Okay.
But we've certainly figured out now that is not the situation.
Okay.
At all with Envision Yoga, which is really exciting. So we come at it through Envision Yoga through the lens of who do you want to be? What do you want your life to be like? What is holding you back right now? And what does it look like when you're thriving? And now see yourself thriving. And so we come at it through as positive, joyful, confident lens as much as we can. And so we'll start with, okay, instead of starting with, I am not safe and feeling all of the negative, you go, I am safe. And you feel it in your body. And then we're saying the mantra together and we're bringing in different kind of techniques to make it more powerful throughout the session. And we just stay with positivity the whole time. But it's working in a similar way to EMDR because you are getting triggered. If you were attacked and you do not feel safe, and I'm telling you, and I'm walking around the class going, I am safe, and I'm having you repeat it if you want. You can repeat after me if you want. You are getting triggered because every time I'm saying it, your brain's going, I'm not safe because of this.
Some event.
Because of that. And so it ends up working in a very similar way to EMDR. In that it's bringing all of the bad memories up to be reprocessed. Yeah.
And if not, it's just kind of like those, I like to call it like a heavy cement brick in your backpack. Yes. Where it's weighing you down, you feel it, it's heavy, it's hard to walk, it's hard to hike, it's hard to do things, but you don't know what it is. It's like an invisible cement block in a backpack. But as you do healing modalities, you start seeing, oh, what is this? Where did it come from? Let's pick up the cement block and let's throw it out. kind of like just releasing those things that maybe you don't know quite that is there. But yeah, I've really loved Envision Yoga. I think a part of me, why I love it, I have ADHD. It's hard to focus. I don't really like meditating, to be honest. I do my own type of meditating that works for me, but like not the typical type. And I like Envision Yoga because it helps me get relaxed and I'm moving. So I'm having less thoughts these days, but I can focus, but I'm also moving. So it helps me relax my brain to probably process and take it in. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I like the movement. I like the stimulation, and I notice that I'm more comfortable and I guess kind of hypnotized. Like not completely, but like I'm at a different resting point in my brain where it's easier to influence.
Yeah, exactly. And that is what's happening is we're able to talk to the subconscious mind and enact real change and talk to the body. There's a theory that's one of the prominent ones in psychology right now, the polyvagal theory, that essentially everything is run through our body. And so the thoughts that you have are the result of whatever state your body's in. And so maybe your thoughts aren't even accurate, just you're feeling really stressed out and angry. So then your brain just kind of goes, well, what sorts of things could I be angry about? And then it kind of like, well, pick one that kind of fits your physical state. And your nervous system runs throughout your entire body. And so when a trauma happens to you, or a really good thing, it gets stored. Maybe it got stored in your wrist. Maybe it's stored in your hip. So it's not just stored in your brain. And that's partly why Envision Yoga is so powerful.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is one of your biggest transformations that you've noticed through doing Envision Yoga?
Through Envision Yoga, the one there have been so many. I am a different person from month to month. And I'm not planning on, back up. I'm a different person from month to month. And I'll say maybe I believe one thing one month and I don't anymore the next month, but one of the most powerful changes was, like I said, I used to be frozen. So when I first discovered that this is something I could do about a year ago, I believed in Envision Yoga from the jump, but I felt, unfortunately, I'm the person who figured it out and I'm not good enough to do it. Yeah. And that's how I felt. And so much of the first year, along with developing the Envision Yoga practice, was developing myself into the person that can lead Envision Yoga. And so much of that was fighting through freeze. I just used to be frozen all of the time. And I would be like, okay, you've got to work on this. And I just couldn't. I would just stay in bed and like play a video game or freak out or, and that doesn't happen at all anymore. It doesn't happen at all. If I wake up at 5:30, I start editing videos at 5:30. I work all day and I work through weekends and I love it. And it feels so good to be in action after so long being frozen.
It's funny. I have the opposite problem is that I've always been in fight mode. Fight. And like, I wouldn't take rests. I wouldn't take breaks. I was just always fighting. So my like regulation was just like, and so I'd get a little bit more triggered with things. I'd be more reactive because I was always in fight and action. And so it was really hard for me over the past several years, actually, to learn to rest, to be able to have space or ask for space or not react or not take action. Like maybe wait, maybe like see if it's 100% first. So it's funny how we have different issues. And so it works for various different things. I'd love to hear another one of yours, but I will share one of mine.
Yes, please.
So one of my biggest transformations, and I know that Envision did help, was, I started going right after I had a breakup.
Yes. Yeah.
Literally, I think it was, did I start in February?
I think we had a bunch of our original crew was newly broken up women from our community.
So I'm pretty sure it was like the week after or I don't know, very recent. And I decided to go because not only did I have a big breakup, I also moved out into a new place, new city, and I didn't have security or stability financially. And even though I'm a hustler and I'm constantly taking action, It's scattered action, and I'm not trusting myself. And what I realized is I would take an action, retreat, take an action, retreat, go high and then low. That was a pattern of mine. I'd make a lot of money, I'd go down. I'd make a lot of money, I'd go down. So it would never be secure or stable. I live in chaos. And so during this time, I was having a hard time trusting myself to get a job. I felt like it was impossible. Like I'd already been applying for months. I got to the point where I thought it was impossible. I didn't know how I was going to live or pay my bills. And I started taking this, I'm at the lowest. And I remember the first one I cried. I don't remember what it was. Maybe I'm worthy or I deserve love. I know it was something very deep like that. And I definitely cried. And over the time, I feel like one of the biggest affirmations that has helped me is I trust myself, which is interesting because people looking on the exterior, looking at me, they're probably like, she trusts herself. I take action, I do things, I've built businesses, and I would say I trust myself, but I would trust myself and waver. Trust myself and waver. It would be this back and forth. So that affirmation stuck with me. And then I remember waking up the next morning and telling myself in the mirror, like, I trust myself, I can do this. Yeah. And through shit, like, oh, I still couldn't pay my bills. Oh, I still couldn't do this. I was like, I trust myself though. Like it was like in my head.
Yeah. I the way I talk about it is it's planting subconscious seeds that grow into real and lasting change, because this is what we're doing. And there's neuroscience outside of EMDR that supports this. I listened to a scientist talking about the science of manifestation. Yeah. And your brain, what we're doing, and this is an incredibly effective way that we're doing it because we're repeating it. He says you need to repeat it. And we're doing everything best case scenario that this guy said for creating a new reality. And your reality, your external reality mirrors your internal reality. And so as you're able to shift your thoughts, if suddenly you trust yourself, now there's more opportunities. Or, if you think you deserve love, then maybe you're going to be on a date and you're not going to put up with some guy treating you badly.
Ding, ding, ding.
Right? Yes. And so everything around you starts to shift and change, and that's how you quote unquote manifest. Is this process of just now your brain believes something different. So what does the world do now?
Yeah. It's replaying it.
Yeah.
Where we used to be replaying these thoughts maybe without knowing, subconsciously.
Yeah.
What has been one of your hardest affirmations
that
like brought up a lot? It could be one or two.
There have been so many. I mean, when I started EMDR, I was working on safety. So that's still, so back then we were focusing on, I am not safe. And they ask you in EMDR on a scale of 1 to 7, how much do you believe like that you are safe? And I lied and said 4.
Yeah.
I was always at probably like a 2. I never felt safe. And now I feel 7 out of 7 safe.
7 out of 7. Okay.
Like all the time.
Nice.
I mean, if something's an immediate threat, then it goes down a little bit. And then once the threat's cleared, it's back up to 7 out of 7. Yeah. And so that's still my favorite Envision Yoga mantra to do is I am safe. And it still helps. I mean, even though I've cleared all of the big issues, I've reprocessed them so they don't trigger me anymore. It doesn't bother me anymore. And that's what happens. I
think that's a big one.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't feel safe during that time. I'm starting to feel safe.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm at. Okay, that's a good question. How do you tell? Like right now, like how would you tell if you feel safe?
Your body. That's that's a great question, Tia. Just listening to your body. And I've started asking that during class this last week. It's continuing to evolve and become more powerful in Envision Yoga. But I'll ask, how much do you believe that you're safe? And
that the world isn't going to end and you're going to be okay?
Right. So
I think that one's the hard part for me. Like in my body, I feel great. Whatever. I feel safe.
I know I'll be safe even if the world's ending. Even if I'm going to die.
Even if I don't pay my bills.
I'm still going to be safe. I don't know. That's how I feel about it now.
Mine would be like, am I still safe if I don't, in the past pay my bills? Or if I don't do something, I would say no.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I'm more logical in my body. I feel like I'm very connected to my body. So
you are.
My body feels good.
You are connected to your body. But yeah, that's how I'll do it is I'll think the mantra and then you think, well, where do I feel it in my body? When I go, I am safe. How does that feel in my body? Where do I feel it? Do I feel it in my chest? Do I feel it in my head? Do I feel it in my stomach? Where do I feel it?
Yeah.
And then from there, you go, well, what does that feeling mean? How much do I believe that? And you can go, I sort of believe it.
Yeah.
You know, and so before class, sometimes now, because I'm picking the mantra for the group. So it's different than EMDR where you would come in with a specific problem. And if someone's doing private sessions with me, then we can focus on their specific mantras that would help them. But with a group, I just pick. So I go, okay, this week we're doing I am worthy. So everybody come. But every mantra works for everyone. I've never had a mantra, someone be like, this one's not for me. Like, even if they don't think it's for them, it still helps them. You know, maybe not as much as a super targeted one would, but they're still going to get the benefits from it.
I would love to hear, what are some of the objections from going?
Yeah. I've learned from it that a lot of people don't want to change, which is fine. You know what I mean? Like, you came in after a breakup, and that's a lot of, I'm not trying to move in on the EMDR kind of super trauma market. This is supposed to be a wellness practice. It does heal trauma. you know? So that is a lot of how it's working. But I want people that just had a breakup, that just lost a job, you know, that are ready, that are at a threshold moment, that are ready to make a powerful, positive change in their life. Because this is how you do it.
They're wanting. So it's not trying to get everybody. It's like this changing moment. You're like, oh, something needs to change. Something's not working. Like, let's go figure out what it is. And I like that.
You have to be, something needs to change, and that thing needs to be me. You can't go, something needs to change, and it's that guy over there. He's being such a problem. You know, like, no. Even if he is being a problem, he probably is being a problem. I don't think you're lying to me about that.
Yeah.
But why are you continuing to interact with him if he's such a problem? Why are you continuing to put your focus on him if he's such a problem?
Yeah.
What could you be doing? What are you able to be doing? And maybe the answer is Envision Yoga.
If you're ready to take the accountability and stop being a victim.
Right.
Okay, so I'd love to hear, have you been in that victim mentality in the past?
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it everybody else's fault?
I was just so sad that I don't even know if I got to the point where I was blaming other people. I'm always very self-blaming. I always, if anything, give myself even more control. Like, my cat almost just died, and if he died, I would have been like, that was my fault. So if anything, that's something that I work on actively. But I've definitely let the loops, I've let the toxic thinking hold me back in extreme ways. And that's why this is such a blessing, because you can't just think yourself out of that. I tried for ages, and I've been a yoga instructor for ages. After I had a big trauma happen when I was 22, I got into yoga. I was meditating. I was trying these different things to get better, and nothing worked until EMDR. Nothing really worked until EMDR.
Yeah. I think I'm also a very stubborn person. You got to work in my subconscious.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like, otherwise I'm just going to be like, I'm fine. That's my thing. I'm good. I'm 100%. Like, everything's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, like, getting to the root of it is very important. Okay. I always get people and clients, and they're like, affirmations don't work. Or they're like, oh, you have to feel it, or you have to believe it. What do you say to that?
It's interesting with Envision Yoga because, I give people the option of saying it out loud after me, and I'll say, you get bonus points if you sound like you mean it, because your brain cares about stuff like that. If you sound like it, you believe it. But it's interesting how it changes throughout the class. I was just asking, I'll write and ask people how their session went, and so someone was saying that at the beginning of the class, the mantra's kind of meaningless to them.
Yeah.
But then halfway through, they'll go, oh, start connecting. And then at the end, you're like, actually, I am powerful. You believe it. So moving your body and saying the affirmation, it's starting to connect it into your body, and people start believing it. It happens around 20, 30 minutes in. All of a sudden, you can feel the energy shift in the room where people are going, oh, I do. I actually am good. Or, they start thinking maybe they are. And so it becomes real. And the bilateral stimulation is doing this special thing to your brain that helps it sink in more powerfully. If you're just doing it by yourself, it does work to some extent. You have to be repeating it a lot, which we do in Envision Yoga in a special situation. And that's why it works. If you just wake up and tell yourself, I am worthy 3 times, and then you spend the rest of the day telling yourself what a bad, shitty person you are, then it's not going to help.
Yeah. And with affirmations on a regular day-to-day basis, you're probably not saying it as much, or you're not believing it, you're not feeling it. You're still having all that subconscious doubt and maybe barriers and beliefs and past experiences holding you back. So in Envision Yoga, it's like pulling it up to the surface, clearing it out, and then it's more consistent and like ingrained in your brain. So I do love that because I always say affirmations. Yeah. And I do say to a point, affirmations can help. And I'll try and say it over and over and over. I'll try to feel it. I'll try and find it. But it's like, why not just spend an hour doing it and then it's ingrained versus years.
Right.
Years trying to get it in your head and you still have all this doubt. You have to reprocess. I have to journal, all those things. Yeah. So I really do love Envision Yoga, and I think I was at a breaking point where I was open to anything. Right. And I think that's a good point.
And you've come to like 9 or 10 sessions now?
Probably.
You've done a lot. And with EMDR, they say it takes at least 8 sessions to kind of see this big transformation. And I've definitely, you have this job, you're thriving. It's amazing to see. And I've seen that, like I said, we had our little breakup crew doing it by ourselves in my apartment kind of when I was first getting it going. And people are thriving now from that group. Some of the people that lost jobs are getting new great jobs. And, people that lost boyfriends are happy and thriving and like saying they wouldn't want them back and things like that.
Yes. No, it's so true.
Great to see.
I was very scared to not get a job. I was scared I wasn't safe. I wasn't trusting myself. And now I have a job. Yeah. It came to me. I trusted. I wasn't overexerting myself to get this job. I was applying, but like also being open and asking for help and trusting myself that it would work out. And it did. Yeah. And like that trusting myself and feeling safe has really helped. So I love that. And knowing that you're worthy of love and deserving of love. Oh, I am now dating to the point where like, if we're not a match on the first date, if we don't want the same things, like I'm not as scared to bring up what I want, what I'm looking for in more of a feminine way and like talk about it. And like even just a couple weeks ago, I went on a date and this guy was like, I was like, oh, so you have a kid. So are you wanting more kids? Are you open to that? What do you want? And he was like, actually, I'm open to kids, which if you've been following me, that's why I broke up with my last relationship. He said, I'm open to kids. And we broke up because he did not want kids. So for me, I had to stop that pattern. And I was like, oh, actually, I'm looking for someone who's a fuck yes for kids.
Yeah.
Who's not open.
Right.
I'm not, 3, 4, 5, a year, 2 years down the line, you change your mind.
Yeah.
So I would like to know if it's a fuck yes.
Yeah.
Or not. And if it's not a fuck yes, that's going to put you in a different department. I will not be intentionally date. I did not say that like that, actually. I said, like, I would like to know where you stand.
Yeah.
And the second date, he brought it up and he thought about it. And he said, yes, I would like kids with someone that wants kids and that's the right partner. And that's, this is a big deal to me. So it's about the partner, but I would have kids with the right person. Nice. I was like, oh, okay. And he brought it up. So I was like, okay, cool. Noted. We can go on another date.
I love that. Yeah. We're getting back out there.
So it's like very different. Okay. So I'd love to hear, what is one of your favorite or unique sessions or classes?
Oh, well, we were just talking about ex-boyfriends. So one of the funniest things, it was one of my favorite sessions. I'm at a public spot now. We have weekly public sessions in Culver City. And I'm expanding to 2 days now at that Culver City spot. So it's already growing. It's exciting. But my ex-boyfriend from the pandemic happens to live up the street from this location. And so I hadn't seen him in 3 years, but all of a sudden I'm walking distance to his place. Yeah. And so I reached out and said, I'm doing this thing. And we got together for a drink, which went well. So then I invited him the next week. So he said he'd come. And then my ex from my most recent breakup, who's part of the community, he was helping out with early Envision Yoga. I discovered it kind of right when we'd gone together. And then we broke up, and his best friend was going to be coming that week for the first time.
Yeah.
And so then I hadn't really been talking to him much, but I feel kind of bad that his best friend's coming if I'm not even inviting him or letting him know that any of these things are happening. And so I reached out to him the day before and invited him to Envision Yoga and didn't really think he'd say yes. And he was like, oh, and he decided at the last minute he'd come. And his best friend had already picked the mantra, which was, I deserve love.
Oh my God, yes.
And so I ended up having two of my ex-boyfriends there, and they were actually by each other, and they didn't know that they were my ex-boyfriends.
Two ex-boyfriends in your class.
Yeah, for my I Deserve Love session.
I fucking love it. Okay, how did that go?
It was amazing. I mean, we did I Deserve Love as the mantra, which was really psychedelic having them both there.
Yeah.
Because it was, I mean, I broke up with both of them, but I still like both of them now as humans, just maybe not as
humans.
Partners. And it was just really, at the end, I had people pair up with somebody and look the person in the eye and tell them, like, you deserve love. And then they have to go, I do. And then they repeat it to me kind of thing. Yeah. And so I was paired up with my most recent ex, who we still had very conflicted feelings about this man. So that it was really intense, like with hands in namaste, looking him in the eyes and going, you deserve love.
Oh my God, that's so good.
So it ended up being really healing for our relationship. And so the one ex-boyfriend I hadn't seen for 3 years, he said he got a lot out of it. And it was interesting because we do a share circle afterwards. Mm-hmm. And so the one boyfriend was saying, I'd been putting love on the back burner and thinking it wasn't important, but maybe I do have time for it. It was very sweet. And he said it was like an ayahuasca trip. So he got a lot out of it. He said it definitely felt significant. And then during the session, I said, well, love doesn't need to be romantic love. Because I was thinking of my most recent ex and being like, well, I don't know if he deserves a girlfriend. I was like, but he deserves like a cat that loves him, And so I said, like, well, you could have a pet, during the session, I specifically said, like, it doesn't need to be romantic love. It could be, your pet that likes you, or your community that, you're building something for. And he ended up adopting a cat within the next week after the session.
The most recent ex?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. That's so funny. Yeah, you can have love in many different ways. Friends,
sent me
family.
a picture being like, this is my cat. And I was like, hooray, you deserve love.
Oh my God, that's so cute. I love that. I didn't know that. That's so cute.
Very cute.
Okay, well, that is fabulous.
Yeah, thanks.
That's really healing. And also, we all deserve love. If you're feeling that struggle and have those beliefs, I would work on that. Come to her workshops. They're great. They're in Culver City. Right now, they're on Wednesdays.
They're on Wednesdays. They're going to be on Fridays as well. And then we'll have an East Side spot soon in the coming months. We're just, making sure the West Side ones are thriving first. But it's growing. It's exciting watching it grow. And its growth to me is inevitable because I've watched, EMDR, she had to start going around person to person going, follow my finger and it'll cure your PTSD.
It's wild.
And 35 years later, it's helped millions of people.
Yeah.
This is impossible sounding,
insane.
Versus now I have 35 years of her research and other people's research showing that this works. So I don't have to prove it. Other people are welcome to come in and study Envision Yoga, and I'm sure that they will eventually.
Yeah.
But it's already been proven. I just go, it's EMDR, works similar to that, And so if that can make it from follow my finger and it'll cure your PTSD in 35 years to having helped millions of people and being the gold standard for helping people with their PTSD, what can Envision Yoga do when we're only limited to how many speakers we can set up on either side of a yoga classroom?
Yeah, I really love that. One really good thing that you've been doing recently is having EMDR therapists come in to your session. So how has that been? And I think that's just goes to show, like, what did they think of it?
It's been amazing. I've had 3 come so far.
Amazing.
Yeah. And they've all loved it. It's been amazing. It's partly great inviting them in because there is a spectrum for how this works. I'd say there's kind of 10 to 20% that it's not doing much for, which is fine. That's anything. And then there's 20% that it is working bonkers. They are having these wild epiphanies, crazy dreams, like the whole gamut of really wild experiences, psychedelic adventuring. And then there's everybody else in the middle who is getting a lot of benefit from it. So I know that if you're an EMDR therapist, if you've made it your living, most likely you're in the 20% that I know this is going to work quite well for you. So that's nice, you know, knowing right away. But then also they've studied it. And so it's just
so they're
amazing.
like more open to it.
Yeah.
What has their feedback been?
Amazing. I mean, one's been coming every week. And it's in a martial arts studio. So she's even been coming for Taekwondo with me beforehand because I do Taekwondo every week. But so far they've loved it. Well, it's been a self-selecting group, obviously, because it's EMDR therapists that are willing to come and check this out. But they've been really excited and talking about how they can refer people to it. And I'm not trying to replace EMDR with Envision Yoga. It's for the wellness market, whereas theirs is specifically for trauma. So while this can help with trauma, there are some people where they have so much trauma that they can't be in a big yoga session while they're facing why they don't feel safe. So it's like there's still so much of a market for EMDR that I don't feel like one needs to edge out the other one is how I view it. I view them as compatible. And one of our friends has been doing both. She started both at the same time. And it's been incredible to kind of get her thoughts. So it's great to see them excited about it.
Yeah. I was going to cover like some of the things that come up after. So
yes, please.
Sometimes you don't think that it's working. I would say like, unless you've been in coaching, therapy, self-development, you often don't notice how such small shifts can really change your life. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, oh, like you don't feel anything huge.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I didn't get a job tomorrow. Or I didn't bawl my eyes out. Or I didn't get some trippy thing. And for me, what I've realized is it's the small things that really help. And I just remember I can't remember what the affirmation was, but I remember leaving and just being like lit up. It was right before my birthday. I can't remember. I kind of want to find what it was. Yeah. What affirmation. I could probably find it. But like, I was like, oh yeah, everything's good. I went home. I was very lit up. I started taking action. I talked to ChatGPT of a plan to what to do on my birthday and did a lot of things. But the next couple days, I remember I ended up crying a lot. Yeah. So like at first I felt really good. And then I was just crying, and it wasn't specifically my birthday for this one, and I was just like crying and crying and crying. I was just like, why am I crying? And I happened to go public and do a story about this. And so Leah saw it. Yeah. And like, I had no idea. So she had to tell me. She's like, oh, this is linked to Envision Yoga. But I didn't that's how this works. Relate it to that. I just didn't think of it. Yeah. So what are some other things that you could notice possibly the next few days or weeks?
Geez. Well, the way I view it, how you're talking about being really lit up afterwards and like, wow, this worked. What I ideally would have someone get throughout the session, by the end of the session, I want them to have at least seen how they could be worthy, how they could be safe, even if they don't believe it yet fully in their body. Hopefully they had visions or like thoughts during the thing that made them think, oh, I could see what it would be like if that was the case. So sometimes you'll leave lit up and euphoric and believing 100% I am worthy or whatever it is. And then like you said, the next day be hit with I'm not. And then just be crying uncontrollably or, you know, and but your brain, how we're talking about planting seeds, you've laid the blueprint now. Now your brain knows what it would look like to be healthy in that way. And it's going to start laying the foundation. It's going to start building that over the next, for me, I'll specifically feel it really powerfully the first 2 days afterwards. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a workout even for me, where the first day after you'll be a little sore and then 2 days after you'll be, oh man, I'm sore from that. Yeah. Like, so if I'm going to get overwhelmed by emotions, it'll be the second day. But the worst that's happened to me is it'll last for 2 weeks. The overwhelm. That's the most it's happened for me. And those are like on the very kind of extreme issues, because I had a lot of issues when I started this. So if you have less issues, it's less painful. The way I describe it is if you already already believed like you were worthy and I told you that, then it's just going to strengthen those neural pathways. So you're not going to have the tears. You're not going to have a lot of bad memories coming up. You're just going to believe it more. But if you do have a backlog of things that made you not believe that, that's when you're going to cry. And you're right that it's very subtle. I've had some people say that maybe they didn't experience anything, but then when I've really asked them, I've been like, well, do you believe it more? And they're like, yes, and then they're like, okay, well, you did,
It's not like gonna hit you on the head with a ton of bricks every time.
And talking about being in your body, it'll change the way you feel in your body. So if someone's not super tuned into their body, maybe they'll miss it. And it'll also bring up all of these old thoughts and emotions from past experiences. So if you don't understand that, that's why. So I think what I do for the next week or two after a session, if all of a sudden I'm upset about some memory, I'll think, well, what's the cognition that goes with it? And if the cognition is the same as the Envision Yoga session was, then that's why I'm thinking about that. If I'm like, well, I'm thinking about my grandfather and, if he's proud of me, and you're like, that's because I've got this on Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, it's not always obvious. I love that. Yeah. Okay, let's see. How could Envision Yoga help someone sexually?
Yeah. We did a specific mantra one time with the mantra, my sexuality is beautiful. So that was an amazing one. That was one of the most powerful results that I've had from a session with people being excited, actually.
What did you hear?
Just people saying the mantra was repeating and it helped them release toxic shame. And but it was interesting because it affected them in different ways as well. It just affected their overall confidence. And that's when the guy said it cured his stomach pain was from having done that mantra, which
maybe shame. Shame is the lowest vibration of energy. Look it up. Google it. ChatGPT it. Yeah, shame is the lowest vibration. So if you hold a lot of shame, you can get sick in certain areas and it can hold you back in the bedroom, in relationships. It's that dark mask holding you back, that dark, heavy bricks on your shoulders that you just don't even know what's preventing you from having more pleasure, love, relationships. So yes.
Yeah.
What else did you hear of that? Any feedback from some of the people taking the classes?
I'm so grateful that this is what I get to do for the rest of my life because it's a dream come true. I already loved yoga so much, but to have been able to, I was in so much pain for so long and I never thought it would get better. And I tried so hard to make it better and nothing I would do would work. And so just that I've been able to heal. There's nothing left holding me back. There's nothing left. There are some small tweaks. Every session I'm still getting better.
Yeah, things will always come up, as we grow.
And I'm excited
new
to
issues.
see. And exactly, life keeps lifing. So even if I were to cure, fix the backlog of whatever's upset me, which I more or less have now, then something new upsetting is happening tomorrow. So there's always going to be new things to process and work on. But just that this is a path to freedom. And that's really how I view it. Because I viewed myself as, trapped before. So it's amazing to feel free and to feel happy in a way that I'd given up on feeling happy.
Well, you've really helped me.
Thank you.
It's been great. I can feel a difference. I can tell in my thoughts. What are some ways that maybe Envision Yoga might help people's confidence and owning their power?
Yeah. I mean, all of the ways, because it's just whatever you tell yourself, you become, because we just have these stories and they're so deeply ingrained. So some of them we don't even think of as stories anymore. We just think that's the truth about me. Yeah. I just am a loser, or I just am a failure.
Or I can't attract good men. Or
I don't deserve a good partner. No good guy would want me with the way, whatever it is. But they're all just stories. And we can change those stories. And through Envision Yoga, that's not just a bumper sticker or some silly thing you read on Instagram. It is the truth. We can change those stories and quicker than you would think.
I like that. What is one simple tip for the audience to take away with today to implement today and to see a shift?
I love this. Like I said, I've been taking these classes now on hypnosis from this guy. And so we can do it together really quick, where there's actually a point that's from Chinese medicine and kind of related to acupuncture. So in between your pinky finger and your ring finger, there's a place where you can tap. So he recommends doing this every day. And then we'll just go back and forth saying positive affirmations about ourselves and say it as positively and confidently as you can. I am awesome.
I trust myself.
I deserve love.
I am abundant.
I've got this.
I deserve love.
I am wonderful.
I am super happy.
All of my friends love me.
I am the best coach.
Okay, now push these two fingers together and look at it and go, awesome.
Awesome. I look at it.
Yeah, great. So what we did there is this is activating kind of part of our brain that's like, I'm not exactly sure what it's doing, but it's helping.
EFT.
It's
like
EFT,
EFT
tapping. And so then it's making, like what we were saying, feel more real. And then at the end, we're anchoring it. So by bringing these fingers together and looking at it, it's associating that positive feeling that we just created by doing the tapping with the anchor.
Okay.
And so if you start practicing that every day and just tap it and say some positive things and say it same as Envision Yoga as confidently as you can, and then start anchoring it, and it'll get to the point where then you can just go awesome, and your brain will immediately kind of kick into that frame of mind. So that's something I've been doing lately that's really works well.
I am really excited to try that. I'll do it. Because like EFT tapping is a little bit overwhelming for me because it's like a whole scenario. You have to do this. You have to do this. I feel like I have to look at a mirror. I have to find the points again, even though I know where they are. And it just feels like I'm ADHD. It's like too time consuming. That feels easy.
Yeah.
It's like, keep it simple. Okay. Well, is there any other things you'd like to share about Envision Yoga, experiences, testimonials, stories, anything like that?
Just that this really has changed my life. Like I said, EMDR first gave me my life back, and now Envision Yoga has made my life powerfully worth living, and I'm watching it start to happen to other people as well. And just come out and try it. If you're in Los Angeles, come out and try it. Follow me at, I don't know, you'll put it online, all the information, I'm sure. And
what's your Instagram?
Okay, my Instagram is envision.yoga. So follow me there. Our website's Envision Yoga, and it'll give you information about upcoming sessions. And join us.
Yeah. Also, can you do it online?
Yes, if you are in a different state, I have links to different speakers that you have to have stereo speakers, but then we can do it together.
Or like headphones that go to
headphones. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could just do earbuds.
If they go back and forth.
As long as they could still hear me talking to them.
Yeah. I mean,
if they have it low enough, then yeah.
Okay,
that's
cool.
True. That's a good point.
Okay. Yeah, because I do binaural beats.
Yeah.
And so it goes in your ears. Okay, well, I love doing this. Go check her out, envision.yoga and envisionyoga.com.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, go check it out. Go follow her. Hit her up if you want to learn more. Follow her as her journey of this business. And you might want to book a one-on-one session in the future. All right, well, thank you so much. I loved having you on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tia. I'm really proud of you. You're doing great.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah.